Alex was obsessed with hustle culture. To him, success meant sleepless nights, endless coffee, and working till he dropped. But despite all his effort, he wasn't seeing results. His startup was barely surviving and his energy was running on fumes. Then he met her, Grace Montgomery, self-made millionaire, effortlessly successful, yet somehow always calm, always in control. "How do you do it?" he asked at a high-end networking event, exhaustion in his voice. Grace smirked. "Because I don't play by their rules." Confused, Alex pushed for answers. "You don't hustle? You're not up all night grinding?" She shook her head. "That's the lie they tell you. The wealthiest people in the world? They don't just work harder, they work smarter." Alex frowned. "What does that even mean?" Grace leaned in. "Meet me tomorrow, 5 a.m. sharp. I'll show you." Alex hesitated. 5 a.m.? He barely got enough sleep as it was, but Grace had something he didn't. Success. Against his instincts, he agreed. He had no idea that his life was about to change forever. The next morning, Alex showed up at Grace's penthouse at 5 a.m., barely awake, his mind still foggy from lack of sleep. Grace greeted him with a calm smile, already dressed in workout gear. "Welcome to the 5 a.m. club," she said. Alex was skeptical. "You really wake up this early every day?" Grace nodded. "It's not just about waking up early, it's about controlling your morning. Billionaires do it, top CEOs do it. The early hours are when you take back your life." She guided him through a series of focused rituals, stretching, hydration, and journaling. Alex felt strange at first, barely able to focus. But as the minutes passed, he felt something shift. "There's power in the first hour of the day," Grace explained. "Most people waste it sleeping or scrolling on their phones. But millionaires? They've learned to use it to set the tone for everything else." Alex wasn't convinced, but he'd already agreed to give it a shot. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of an entirely new way of living. The next morning, Grace introduced Alex to the 10-minute mindset ritual. "Before you do anything, you take 10 minutes to center yourself," she explained. "No distractions, no phones, just you and your mind." Alex sat down, skeptical. He'd always thought success came from hustle, not sitting in silence. But Grace instructed him to close his eyes, breathe deeply, and focus on positive thoughts. As he followed her guidance, something unexpected happened. His racing thoughts began to slow, his mind becoming clearer. "This ritual rewires your brain," Grace said. "It's how the top 1% stay focused, calm, and driven, no matter what the day throws at them." Alex opened his eyes, surprised by the calm he felt. For the first time in a long while, he wasn't overwhelmed. Could this really be the key to shifting his mindset? He didn't know yet, but he was willing to keep going. The next day, Grace introduced Alex to a powerful technique she swore by: visualization. "Billionaires don't just think about success, they see it," Grace said, guiding him to close his eyes. "Picture your goals as if they've already happened." Alex was skeptical. He'd always believed success was built on hard work, not wishful thinking. But Grace insisted. Visualization isn't magic, it's science. It rewires your brain to attract what you focus on. Reluctantly, Alex followed her instructions, picturing himself successfully closing deals and leading a thriving company. Over the next week, strange things began happening. Alex's confidence soared. Opportunities seemed to come out of nowhere, and small successes began stacking up. But a nagging doubt lingered. Was it really the visualization that caused all this? Or was Grace manipulating him into believing it? As the signs of success grew undeniable, Alex started questioning the true power behind the technique. The following morning, Grace had a new challenge for Alex. After a quick 10-minute workout, she led him to a cold shower. "Cold therapy sharpens the mind, boosts energy, and prepares you for success," she said, already stepping into the freezing water. Alex hesitated, dreading the shock of cold, but Grace insisted. Reluctantly, he followed. The cold hit him like a jolt of electricity. His breath caught, his muscles tensed, but Grace's calm presence kept him grounded. As the cold water cascaded over him, Alex felt an unexpected surge of energy. His focus sharpened instantly, his mind becoming clearer. By the time he stepped out, he felt alive, powerful, awake, and ready for anything. But the intensity of the routine left him with doubts. What was the true cost of this high-energy habit? Was it sustainable, or was he pushing his body and mind too far? Still, the results were undeniable. The next day, Alex felt stronger, more focused than ever. But deep down, he couldn't shake the question. Was this truly the key to success, or just another part of Grace's methodical game? Grace's next revelation was about breakfast. a crucial part of the Millionaire morning routine. Forget the usual carbs and sugary cereals, she said as she prepared a nutrient-packed meal of avocados, eggs, and chia seeds. This is the breakfast of champions. Alex, unsure at first, hesitantly dug in. The meal was surprisingly satisfying, but what caught his attention was how different he felt. He didn't experience his usual post-breakfast slump. Instead, his mind felt sharper and his energy was steady. This meal is designed to fuel your brain and body for peak performance, Grace explained. The right food gives you the mental clarity to make decisions, focus longer, and avoid the fatigue that most people experience. Over the next few days, Alex stuck to the diet. He felt more energized and focused than ever before. But as the positive effects continued, he noticed something strange. His concentration was almost superhuman. He was closing deals faster, making decisions with ease. However, it came with a cost. The intense focus began to consume him. Was this power worth the obsession? Alex couldn't help but wonder if the meal was unlocking something deeper inside him, something he wasn't prepared for. Grace introduced Alex to the October 10 rule, a strategy that had top CEOs swearing by it. It's simple, she explained. The first 30 minutes of your day are broken into 3 segments of 10 minutes each. The first 10 minutes, set your intentions. The next 10 work on your highest priority task. The last 10 reflect on your progress. Alex thought it sounded almost too easy, but he decided to give it a shot. The next morning he spent 10 minutes journaling his goals, 10 minutes tackling a major business project, and 10 minutes reviewing his progress. At first it felt like a lot of time was wasted on reflection, but the more he followed the rule, the more he began to see results. Within days, Alex found himself accomplishing more in 30 minutes than he had in hours before. He was hitting targets, making decisions faster, and feeling more in control of his life. But just as success seemed inevitable, cracks began to appear. The constant drive for efficiency started to make him feel like he was on autopilot. His focus was sharp, but was he losing touch with what truly mattered in life? The October 10 rule was working, but was it pushing him toward his goals, or trapping him in a cycle of unrelenting productivity? Grace was relentless when it came to distractions. Zero distractions, Alex, she said firmly. If you want to reach the top, you can't afford any interruptions. At first, Alex embraced it. He turned off notifications, silenced his phone, and cut off all unnecessary communication. He even blocked out personal relationships, focusing only on his goals. His productivity soared and he felt like he was finally on the fast track to success. But as days passed, something strange started to happen. The more focused he became, the more isolated he felt. Friends reached out, but he ignored their texts. Family tried to connect, but he was always too busy. The obsession with productivity was consuming him. He'd become a machine-driven, focused, but emotionally distant. The world outside his work seemed less and less important. Distractions will hold you back, Grace had said. But now Alex wondered, is it worth it? Was he sacrificing too much in pursuit of his dreams? His drive for success was blinding him to the very relationships that had once brought him joy. The zero distraction rule had pushed him to the edge, but was it the path to true success, or a dangerous trap? Grace revealed the $100 rule to Alex, an idea that sounded simple but held profound implications. Every time you're about to spend money, she explained, ask yourself, will this purchase contribute to long-term wealth? At first, Alex took it as just another piece of advice, but he soon became obsessed. Every purchase, no matter how small, was scrutinized. A cup of coffee? Couldn't justify it. A new jacket? Definitely not. His mind became consumed with this question. How does this contribute to my wealth? His friends began noticing the change. You're not living anymore, one of them remarked. It's like you're chasing a number, not a life. But Alex was blind to their concerns. The $100 rule was his new mantra. Then came a pivotal moment. Alex was presented with a business deal, a high-risk venture that could make him millions. Following the $100 rule, he weighed every aspect carefully. The deal fell through and he lost the opportunity. Now Alex had to ask himself, had he been too obsessed with saving, too focused on the rules, that he'd missed a life-changing chance? Was this truly the key to building wealth? Or was Grace's advice a subtle way to control him? After weeks of following Grace's exact routines, Alex thought he had mastered the art of success. But one final habit remained, the millionaire habit Grace had promised would change everything. Are you ready? Grace asked one morning, her eyes glinting with a secret. Alex, now more confident than ever, nodded. I've done everything you've asked. I'm ready. Grace led him to her private office, handed him a single envelope and said, "Open it." Inside there was just one sentence. "You are now the product of everything you focused on." Alex blinked. What does that mean? Grace leaned in. It means you've been so focused on success, productivity, and wealth that you've forgotten the one key thing, the why behind it all. The real habit of the rich is not about routines or money. It's about aligning your vision with your true purpose. Alex's mind spun. Had he been chasing success for the wrong reasons? All the habits, the routines, the sacrifices, had they been leading him toward the right goal? Then Grace dropped the bombshell. I've been guiding you, Alex, not just to wealth, but to take over everything you've built. You're good at what you do, but you've been playing a game. The real question is, who's been playing you? Alex's world came crashing down. All his routines, his success, it had all been part of Grace's plan. Was he a pawn in her game, or had he truly become a millionaire on his own terms? The final twist wasn't about the wealth. It was about who he'd become in the process. And now Alex had a choice. Continue the path Grace had set for him or break free and create his own empire, free from manipulation. But which path would he choose?